Welcome to this collective reading. I'm Jacene, also known as Tempest Trade. Please use your discernment when listening to the messages in this reading. Timestamps for important moments, as in my meditations matching certain cards or certain words that I say, will be linked in the description below. Also, you can find all of my social media and my link tree also in the description below. So if you would like a private one-on-one reading with me, you can DM me on any of the social media or go to my link tree. Let's begin. And as always, let's begin with a prayer. I open a channel in this safe and protected space, and I call forth all well-intentioned energies and entities that wish to bring forth messages for the collective's highest good, for the collective's best possible, happiest timeline, harm unto none, and please remove my influence from these collective readings. I now invite all well-intentioned energies and entities to allow me to see, hear, taste, touch, sense, smell, know, feel, and understand anything that the collective needs to know. So, the first thing I sensed was a lot of interruptions or things wanting your attention. People, places, things trying to grab your attention, not being able to focus because that's kind of what was happening here. And then on top of that, not really seeing anything because I wasn't really seeing anything. And then I saw what looked like a faint X, almost like X marks the spot. And when you think of X marks the spot, it's like you're looking for something. Like looking for treasure, looking for, like, going towards a goal, trying to figure something out, trying to find something. But with interruptions and not being able to see, it's kind of giving me the feeling like, yeah, not being able to see where you're going, not being able to focus on what you need to do or where you need to go, not maybe not fully knowing what the end goal is, what the end looks like. The X marks the spot, the treasure. And treasure makes me think of the quote from Pirates of the Caribbean: "Not all treasure is silver and gold." I feel like I saw an eye, which reinforces like seeing, looking, observing, watching, maybe utilizing the third eye to see beyond. I feel like I saw a slug, a snail. So, like, moving slowly. That makes sense if you can't see. Like, if you're in the dark, you have to move slowly so you don't hurt yourself, trip over something. Maybe that also gives me the feeling like the answers will come to you slowly. More will be revealed slowly in time. Maybe it just requires patience. Patience and steady, slow and steady movement. That almost looks like the horizon line. The horizon line could be the finish line, it could be hope, it could be like the sun setting on a day or the sun rising on a brand new day. Or like as far as the eye can see. Almost look like a little, if it's not a wave, then it's like a ramp, almost like like at skate parks or roller coasters, how it has that dip down, but then it goes up. And that makes me think of like things going up and down, or like that dip down for the momentum in order to take off. Also, it makes me think of like it's darkest before the dawn. That makes sense. Especially with the eye, the horizon line, and like not seeing, it's like you're in the dark. But again, it's darkest before the dawn. That was an interesting shape. I have no idea what that was. Is that it, or is there anything else? That almost looks like a hole, like a pit. Like a well. How it just goes down. And it's like darker, darker, darker when you go deeper. It's interesting. It's interesting. Anything else? Is there anything else? I think that might be it. 12 minutes, 43 seconds. Okay. All right. So today's movie for the background is Damsel, the 2024 movie with Millie Bobby Brown. The movie popped up into my head, and I wondered, okay, is that the next movie that I should channel with? I was a little, like, I was questioning it, a little hesitant about it, but then I was on social media scrolling just for a little bit, because I don't really go on social media that much anymore. But I was scrolling for a little bit, and then I saw the word damsel. And that word doesn't really pop up a lot, at least in my personal experience. So I basically thought to myself, okay, heard, that's the next song that I should, or the next movie that I should play. But good thing I said song, because I forgot I need to do the 4 random songs. I always keep forgetting. Okay. I now invite all well-intentioned energies and entities to select 4 random songs to help the collective connect to this message, or help this message locate the collective. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Move that over. First song is Otro Sistema by Lil Nay. Broccoli by Dram. Hold Me While You Wait by Louis Capaldi. Wait. Interesting. Thinking of You by Katy Perry. All right. Now let's play this movie and get on with the reading. Yes, focus, please. Focus. Focus. I'm trying to think if I want to try and pull the cards faster, because my normal method of operations is to essentially do one card at a time and kind of analyze that card as I go. But that does create longer content, longer videos. So I'm wondering if I should try and test myself and like pull the cards, pull, and then after it's all out, then try to go through it. But I do like analyzing one card at a time, because some of the things that I say end up essentially appearing in like the cards further down, and the cards further down the line. And it's like, if I don't take that moment to explore the cards before the other ones come out, then like you can't really see the process of me thinking before the cards come out, if that makes sense. I don't know. Let's press play and let's get on with the show. But that meditation was interesting. And again, I've chosen the movie Damsel because it popped up into my head, and then I saw a sign. However, 2 other movies also popped into my head. So I might save those other movies for future collectives. If you haven't seen this movie, Damsel, I would recommend it, because it does kind of match with some of the things that I saw in my vision, in terms of not knowing the way, finding the way, being in the dark, moving slowly. All right. What does the collective need to know? No. Okay, that fell out onto the floor in reversal. We have pride in the reversal. This card says, you underestimate a foe. You waste your money on fancy clothes. You insist on doing the job right. Overconfidence proves your undoing in the reversal. So if it's in the reversal, then it means you overestimate a foe. So underestimate is, not thinking that, oh, I don't have to explain it. You already know. But you overestimate a foe, or someone might have underestimated you and you prove them wrong. Or someone might have overestimated you and you are exactly what they thought you are. You waste your money on fancy clothes. You could be someone who is more frugal. You insist on doing a job right. Maybe you're a person that doesn't really do a good job. Overconfidence proves your undoing. Maybe you're not confident enough. Because pride in the reversal. I mean, we shouldn't be so prideful, overly prideful, but we should have a measure of pride, a certain level of pride. Confidence, for example, is important. We should always be confident. Oh, also, my outfit was chosen with the Damsel movie in mind. So it could be that someone was too prideful and they are learning that it's not good, or someone needs a bit more pride in themselves. This could be you. This could be someone that you're connected to. Okay, this card fell out upright, but then it fell off the table. And it fell off the table in the reversal. I usually take the cards how they actually landed, the final land. This is strangling vines, but in the reversal. So strangling vines is something holding on to you, keeping you stuck. But in the reverse, it's like not stuck. Like something isn't grabbing you. This could be two different ways. This could be you or someone you know had too much pride, too much ego, and it got them caught up in certain situations, which with these cards in reversal, maybe like the awareness, the self-awareness of that pride and that ego is starting to kick in. In my vision, I did see the eye, the horizon line, the X marks the spot, the moving slowly. Maybe someone is starting to see, like starting to see themselves, because the picture of the pride is a mirror. It's like being able to look into the mirror. Maybe this person, it could be you or it could be someone else, was unable to look inside the mirror. Maybe looking into the mirror, they didn't like it. So they always tried to avoid it. I don't know if I want to take this card. It didn't flip, but it did kind of like pop out. Life changer in the reversal. This card says, one thing changes everything. You have a change of heart. Two fates become intertwined. A disaster reshapes the future. But in the reverse. One thing changes everything. That could possibly mean that lots of things have changed everything, or it could mean that like nothing is changing. Two fates become intertwined. A disaster reshapes the future. Could this instead mean that someone's not looking in the mirror and not like seeing how was life changer supposed to come out? I'm gonna have a little fun and roll this die. Was life changer supposed to come out? Was the card supposed to be in this reading? Nay. Can you please confirm? Was the card supposed to be in this reading? In doubt. Yes, I am in doubt. That's the reason why I'm asking. So is that a nay or a yay? Ask again. I feel like you're just playing with me now. Aye. So you're playing with me. So should I put... Did I accidentally mix up these cards? Because superstition flipped, and I don't remember this card flipping unless I mixed up the cards incorrectly. What does superstition say? The stars are wrong, old traditions delay progress, folk remedies hold power, burn the witch. That card hasn't come out in any reading I've done ever since creating this deck. You know what? I don't... I'm going to put life changer. I'm going to slide that a little. I'm going to slide it a little. It'll be here as an honorable mention. You have a change of heart, but in the reversal, no change of heart. Two fates become intertwined in the reversal. Like, There's been a separation. Is someone trying to separate their ego from themselves? Because your ego is you, but an overactive ego isn't good for you. Like I said, we all require a certain measure of pride, a certain measure of confidence. Those things are really important. We need to have belief and appreciation for ourselves, but not too much. Why? That flipped out in the sideways on the floor. Tragedy. Dreams herald coming doom. A terrible event still haunts you. Disaster threatens to repeat. The end times. The end times seems nigh. The end times seem nigh. That's funny because, again, life changer, I wasn't exactly sure if I should take that. The dice said nay. I will do another card just to be on the safe side. And again, we'll keep life changer as an honorable mention. We'll keep it out, but honorable mention. Slightly separate. This could be a warning, honestly, because tragedy in the sideways could mean two different things. It could mean that an event really did take place that caused someone, you or someone else, to like look inside yourself. Maybe you don't like what you see. Maybe a person that you know doesn't like what they see, and maybe they're starting to change a little bit. Maybe they're in denial. Or this could mean that someone is refusing to look in the mirror. Someone is refusing to see how stuck they are. And they're going to continue refusing it until a tragedy happens, until something actually happens. And it's interesting because we have both life changer and tragedy. And both of those change things. It's literally a changing event, a life-changing event. So maybe life changer is supposed to be out here and the dice is just playing with me. I mean, it did say it was. By the way that I read, the way that I channel, I actually channel and read through a lot of different things. Through literally everything. A friend of mine, and this was either earlier this year or last year. I think it was last year. I don't really remember. My times get mixed up a little bit. But a friend of mine asked me to accompany him to a business meeting because I was technically, at the time, I was his advisor. And at the business meeting, I wasn't really there at the conversation. I was like 5 feet away, 10 feet away, just doing my own thing, minding my own business in a way, but I couldn't help but overhear the conversation that they had because being 5 to 10 feet away, you just hear. And it's interesting because the conversation that they had when they were discussing business, I was just looking at the scenery. I was looking at the sky, feeling the wind, looking at the clouds, looking at the birds, the planes. And everything that they were talking about, I literally saw it reflected in everything around me. Everything that they were talking about, I saw it in the clouds. I saw it in the way the birds were flying and how they flew. I saw it in the wind, in how the wind felt, and how the plane flew. Like, their conversation matched nature and just the world around me, and my mind just started piecing the things together and everything made sense. So the way that I channel and the way that I get messages and the way I understand things comes from everything. How a card falls, how it flips out, how people walking outside my door and I hear them, how that sounds, how the birds and the other creatures outside my window, like the movie, the dialogue, the lyrics, the scenes, everything tells me messages, and it is surreal how it happens and how easily I can interpret literally nature and the world around me and understand the messages of what's actually going on around me. I don't even need to truly be directly involved with something to fully understand what is going on there. It's great. I love it. Okay. Enough about me. Back to the reading. 3131. I was going to say one more card. It jumped, but it didn't flip, and I'm not going to take it. I don't know if I should take that card because it flipped and you can't put it back in. What is this? It's Identity Thief in the reversal and Freya flipped over. Freya is a god card with Tinkerer and Alchemist in the reversal at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. So let me look up Freya just to be on the safe side. I've already mentioned this in different collective readings, but I just want to be on the safe side. So Freya is a Norse goddess. The Norse goddess of witchcraft, death, love, fertility, and was later condemned by Christian missionaries as the Queen of Witches. Most renowned of the Norse goddesses, who was the sister and female counterpart of Freyr, and was in charge of love, fertility, battle, and death. Drawn by cats was another of her vehicles. Pigs were sacred to her, and she rode a boar with golden bristles. It was Freya's privilege to choose one half of the heroes slain in battle for her great hall in... I'm not going to say that. I don't know how to pronounce that. Folkvengar. She possessed a famous necklace called Brzingamenn, which the trickster god Loki stole, and Heimdall, the god's watchman, recovered. Like the Egyptian goddess Isis and the Greek Aphrodite, Freya traveled through the world seeking a lost husband and weeping tears of gold. Okay. So, goddess in charge of love, fertility, battle, and death. And then we have Identity Thief in the reversal. More cards than I technically wanted, but that happens when you start to question yourself and doubt things. So let me move certain stuff over. I can fit these cards. Again, Life Changer is still slightly out. Tinker and Reversed Alchemist. That kind of makes sense. With the Tinker and Alchemist in the reversal, it kind of gives me like someone who doesn't exactly know how to alchemize, how to fix things, or maybe someone who alchemizes and tinkers with stuff beyond their actual prerogative, beyond their actual like someone who has no business doing certain things, but they do it anyway. Almost like a trickster, almost like a manipulator, but again, multiple different ways. And it's interesting that we have pride in the reversal and identity thief in the reversal, because this came out in a different collective reading too. When you think of identity, you think of like a person. But what is a mirror? A mirror is a reflection. A mirror is like another you. An identity could technically be like another form of that, another you. So this kind of gives me the feeling like maybe it could be you, or it could be someone you're connected to. Maybe someone was dissatisfied with who they are or who they were. And so they tried to essentially emulate others. And with this tinkerer alchemist at the bottom, they could have tried to emulate others in ways that weren't actually good for them. Like alchemy is the practice of turning lead into gold, for example. But when you equate it to spirituality, to mental health, emotional health, physical health, or evolution and growth, it is taking an emotion that doesn't serve you any good and turning it into something that actually is beneficial for you. So turning anger into peace, turning sadness into acceptance or happiness. That, for example. Oh, my poor flame. I'm sorry, let me try and spread out this this wax so it can breathe a little bit. Okay. This is a little tricky. I mean, I did say in my vision how it's like in the dark, I couldn't really see things. There were a lot of distractions, a lot of things trying to take your attention. And it's like moving slowly because you can't really see. And with this, again, with this pride in the reversal, the mirrors in reverse, it's like not being able to see your own reflection. But at the same time, it could symbolize like the beginning of seeing, the beginning of awareness. Like sometimes when you come out of the dark and into the light, like it's so bright because your eyes are accustomed to the dark that you have to like close your eyes again, slowly adjust. This could be one of those situations too. Maybe a person is slowly adjusting to the truth, slowly adjusting to who they are, or slowly beginning to untangle themselves from either a person that was too prideful or their own pride. And with Freya, especially since Freya represents love, fertility, battle, death. Death in the death card in the traditional tarot is about rebirth, a cycle coming to an end so that way something new can begin. So Freya could be a confirmation. Honorable mention card, celestial messenger. Interesting. I consider myself a messenger because I'm doing this right now, but also Freya, a god. So Freya could be the confirmation that this situation might deal with love. It might deal with like coming out of a battle, and that battle could have been like a push and pull love battle with a romantic partner that was too prideful, and like their pride smothered everything, held on to everything, and it took the tragedy of like ending a relationship, like, because it says two fates become intertwined for life changer, but in the reversal it's like pulling away, like separating, but it's still a life-changing event. And again, with this identity thief card, it's like discovering yourself, not taking on anyone else's life, not trying to be someone else, but like being yourself, or being aware that maybe someone was taking from you, copying you, mimicking you, projecting onto you. Or this could be you. You could be the person that projects, copies, mimics because you don't like yourself. But also, since Freya does represent, for example, witchcraft, being the teacher of witchcraft, this could also represent that maybe you or someone that you're connected to might have dipped and dabbled into magic. And with this reversed alchemist tinkerer, it's like doing it for the wrong reasons or not doing it right. And the thing about magic or the craft, any type of craft, it is intention. What intentions do you put into it literally mirrors what comes out of it. Let's see, that's going to be an honorable mention card. Honorable mention, teleport, moving. I did say in my vision, like moving slowly. Let's go back to the movie. Let's clarify pride. Grim affliction in the reversal. This card, even the small wounds let hope bleed out. And it's in the reverse. That's interesting. So this gives me the feeling that it reminds me of my meditation, the horizon line. Seeing the horizon, and how I was saying, like, as far as your eye could see, which is also similar to hope. Darkest before the dawn. Like, you need a measure of hope to get through certain things. Ooh, cards, work with me here. Get it together, cards. Get it together. And since this grim affliction, even the small wounds let hope bleed out. This is kind of giving me the feeling that maybe this pride, this issue with pride, or this issue with not being able to look in a mirror, this issue with maybe not being able to see yourself. Maybe it's a wound. It's an inner wound. It could be a childhood wound, or it could just be an experience that left some type of wound. Engine revving. Maybe someone's not able to see the wound. Or maybe someone is now aware of it and maybe is now starting to slightly patch it up. This can go both ways, honestly. Okay. Let's clarify grim affliction and pride. Blessed light in the sideways. This card says, enchanted by mage smiths and blessed by priests, Benelish windows let in light and cast out darkness. And that perfectly aligns with the mirror and the grim affliction. It's like you need to shine light on something in order to see it. But at the same time, like, you need to shine light on something in order to heal it. Like, the light, in another way, in another analogy, is awareness. Also, at the same time, light is hope. Like, there needs to be more hope, more awareness. Like, nothing is ever unchangeable. As long as you have awareness and as long as you have hope, then everything can be fixed. Everything can be healed. Everything can be changed. All right, let's clarify strangling vines in the reversal. Retribution in the reversal. I looked up this definition many times, and I'm going to continuously look it up because punishment inflicted on someone as vengeance for a wrong or criminal act. But it's in the reversal. So this could mean two different things. This could mean that maybe retribution, maybe someone, or it could be you, it could be someone else, was punished for something that they didn't actually do. Or maybe someone has come to realize that they have a habit of lashing out at people. Because this is to clarify strangling vines in the reversal. So it's, again, this could be someone untangling themselves from a punishment that someone else inflicted. Or someone, like, untangling themselves from, like, punishing others, like, if that makes sense. This gives me the feeling of like an inner battle or like a struggle, which makes sense because Freya's out here, and Freya also is the goddess of battle. So this might not just be like getting out of a bad situation with someone. This could also be like battling yourself, or someone you know is battling themselves. pop down into my lap. Ooh, night terrors in the upright. This card says, Innistrad is a place where dreams invade the mind and mere shadows exact a terrible toll. And this is to clarify retribution and strangling vines. Night terrors. This could mean that, like, this particular situation keeps someone up at night. Or when they do sleep, they have dreams. Minutes. Ooh, cards fell down. And I'm at the part and Damsel timestamp 35 minutes, 23 seconds. Where they just threw her into a pit. And like my vision, I saw like a pit. Where are you, cards? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? And it's interesting because Night Terrors had just come out too. So it's like someone's in a pit of darkness. A pit of darkness, and it's probably hard to see the light. Again, this could be you, this could be someone else. I'm going to clarify life change. Should I do life changer? I guess I'll clarify life changer because why not? We're gonna do it. We're going to include it. We're going to include it. Even though the dice told me nay. Maybe that's the question. Maybe that's ultimately the end of it, is will you change your life? Because we always have a choice. We have a choice to do so before tragedy occurs. And the question is, are you going to do so? Maybe that's the reason why I was so confused about it and why the dice played with me, because it's just like, it's your choice. Are you gonna take it or are you not? Okay. Let's clarify life changer. Aye. 2 popped out. So we have marksman, which was the first to flip. Marksman in the reversal. Marksman is someone who is essentially trying to shoot a target. But in the reversal, it's like maybe your aim is off. Like you don't know the target. Isn't that what I said in my meditation? Like X marks the spot, but it's kind of like you don't know. You can't see it. And then we have active treason in the upright. Rage courses in every heart, yearning to betray its rational prison. This kind of gives me the feeling that especially to clarify life changer. Man. And with active treason, it does say gain control too. Rage courses in every heart, yearning to betray its rational prison. Maybe with life changer, it's someone did something, but with marksman in the reversal, maybe like it missed the mark. Again, you have, what was I saying? You with active with life changer, like you have the choice. The choice is there. You don't have to wait for a tragedy. You don't have to wait for a situation in order to make a choice. You can make the choices. Like, it doesn't need to take wounds and healing and afflictions and night terrors and punishment in order to change your life. But again, it all circles back to the mirror. Like, can you see the mirror? Can you see yourself? Can you see things? Can you shine light on things? Can you see? Because if you're able to see, if you're aware, then you can essentially maneuver before things happen. And especially with the act of treason and marksman, maybe it's giving me the feeling like maybe some things are always going to end in some type of tragedy. But again, if you have the mirror, if you can look into the mirror, maybe you can avoid it in advance, way in advance. Maybe. Okay, let's clarify. Let's see. Tragedy. Is that flip? No. That flipped. Tormenting spirits. Yeah. If something already occurred and you're healing from it, then you're still thinking about it. It's still in your head. If something hasn't occurred yet, and maybe you are on the brink of a situation happening, or maybe something will actually happen soon, like this is going to eat something or someone up. Or someone could have done something already and it is eating them up. You or someone you know, for example, could just be holding a lot of internal guilt over something that they did. And maybe it's one of those situations where it sucks to be aware and to look at yourself, or for them to look at themselves and see their reflection. And maybe this person, you or this person, could try avoiding seeing their own reflection even after certain things have happened, which is also the reason why night terrors happen, because it's just like, if you don't want to look at yourself, well, we are going to show you in your sleep, whether or not you like it or want it. You're going to see, you're going to be aware, we're going to make it so. And tormenting spirits could also be, for example, universe, spirit, source, gods, goddesses, ancestors. Tormenting a person because of the things that they've done. Or it could be a person tormenting themselves over what has happened to them. Nice. We have tragic poet in the reversal. I like when this card comes out in the reverse. It's perfect. Because in the upright, this card says, in a healing world I write, I who will never be healed, let my last gift be one of memory. From 1,000 lost thoughts, choose one and remember my name. I'm going to turn on my light because it's getting dark. Turn on the light. Look at that. Shining the light. Okay. But in the reversal, this card indicates healing. And that's exactly what I said with the blessed light, is that, and the grim affliction, that as long as there is hope, as long as there is awareness, then healing will always be possible. But you need hope and you need awareness in order to heal. Like, you need those things. But on top of that, like, it goes more than just hope and awareness, because you need actual action behind it. You need to actually life changer. You need to actually do things differently. You need to separate yourself from certain people. You need to have more discipline. You need to say no to certain things. Like, there needs to be action. But as long as there is desire for healing and hope for healing and awareness on the areas that need to be healed, then all that's left is the action. Think of it like getting surgery, going to the doctors. You are more likely to get better and heal when you actually know what the situation, what the health situation is. And once you know what the health situation is, the next step is knowing what can actually fix the health situation. And then the next step after that is actually following the instructions in order to fix the health situation. Same thing. Exact same thing. Emotional healing, mental healing, physical healing, spiritual healing, they are the exact same equation, like a mathematical equation. The variables, the numbers and the letters in the equation might be different, but the equation itself is exactly the same. Now let's clarify. What time is it? 1:03. Okay, I've got 3 minutes until it pauses. Let's clarify identity thief. Did a card flip? No. That card flipped. It fell out sideways. Just funny, because this card is actually called Entangling Vines, but it's in the sideways. And then we have Strangling Vines. And it's funny because, oh my gosh. Is it supposed to be in the sideways, or is it supposed to be in the reversal? It's supposed to be in the sideways. So yeah, again, it's kind of repeating the same thing. Like, someone's a little stuck. It could be you, it could be someone you know. But someone's kind of a little stuck in this habit of not knowing themselves, in this habit of maybe projecting onto other people, or emulating someone else, or claiming to be something that they're not. And with it being on the sideways, it's like the beginning of awareness, the beginning of like untangling yourself. Time. Ever since I turned on the light, now it's hard to see the time. Okay. Let's clarify identity thief and entangling vines. That fell out onto my lap. I wondered if this card was going to come out. Because we have night terrors, I wondered if the dream card was going to come out. And it did. So we have Myojin of Cryptic Dreams, but it's in the reversal. So this is giving me the feeling like maybe you or someone you know who might be going through this, if this isn't about you. Time? Almost time. But this is telling me that maybe someone or you has gotten some messages in your dreams, especially with the night terrors. And maybe like you're not paying attention to the dreams. Maybe someone you know has had dreams and they're not really paying attention to it. They're just thinking, oh, I just had this crazy dream. But it's just like, no, those dreams are actually messages. Pausing. And we should be back. But like, yes, like these dreams are actually messages. These dreams are actually telling you, yeah, you might not like the dreams that you're getting because it's giving you some terrors, but it's kind of like, it still holds messages. It still holds lessons for you to learn, things for you to pay attention to. And maybe because the card is in the reversal, maybe, again, you're not paying attention to it, not really understanding. It is cryptic dreams, so it's probably going over your head. But that's why we have the awareness, and that's why we spend time thinking, spend time inside ourselves to ask ourselves certain questions or to think. Looking into that mirror. Okay, let's clarify Freya. Ooh. Gleam of Battle to clarify Freya. This is perfect because Freya is the goddess that symbolizes or rules over battle. Every soldier returns from battle changed by hardship, by blood, by a glimpse of glory. So I really think that this does fall in line with the grim affliction about wounds. Even the smallest wounds can let hope bleed out. I feel like you or someone you know have definitely experienced certain things, especially with this tragedy and the life changer. Definitely experienced certain things. And those experiences probably created some unhealthy coping mechanisms or unhealthy mental, emotional habits or mindsets. And like these things, they do need to be addressed. Woo. It's like PTSD, for example. Okay, let's clarify Freya and Gleam of Battle. Oh. What's this? Burst of Strength in the reversal, which is interesting. This card says, our fight is not about territory or revenge. It is about freedom, plain and simple. It's perfect, but in the reversal. Especially since we have entangling vines and strangling vines and tormenting spirits. And then we have active treason. Like, this is all about breaking free from something. But with Burst of Strength in the reversal, it's kind of like maybe you don't have much strength, or maybe, especially with this active treason, rage courses in every heart yearning to betray its rational prison. And that kind of goes along with Burst of Strength. It's not about territory and it's not about revenge. It's about freedom. But when you are faced with a situation that has betrayed you and hurt you, it is very difficult to use to alchemize. Alchemy in reversal. It's very difficult to use the anger and the hurt from those situations to make different choices, to become a different person, to heal the wounds. Sometimes anger becomes the thing that changes our life. Sometimes anger becomes the thing that makes us lash out at people in different ways. Sometimes anger is the thing that makes us hate ourselves and wants us to be someone else, so we end up pretending that we're something we're not. Because alchemizing, transmuting, healing is hard to do. It can be difficult to do when you don't know how. It can be difficult to do when there's just so much to heal from. But Burst of Strength, this is also reminding me of the Strength card from the tarot deck, which is essentially having strength in yourself, persevering, knowing that there are other energies and entities in existence around that do want the best for you too. But the other energies, gods, goddesses, source, spirit, universe, ancestors, they can only do so much. Like, they can help pull strings around the world, but they can't necessarily make you make different choices, if that makes sense. Like, only you can choose certain things for your life. Only you can do certain things with your life. Ding. The entire time I've been here shuffling, not once did my bracelet hit my singing bowl, and then it did. As soon as I said, only you can change your life. Now let's clarify this Tinkerer and Alchemist. The Tinkerer is also like fixing yourself, aside from the alchemy. Alchemy is the transmuting, but then the Tinkerer is kind of like rebuilding yourself, rebuilding your life. Two cards popped out. Interesting. So we have Voyage's End in the reversal. Now this card says, philosophers say those lost at sea ascended to a more perfect realm. Sailors say they drowned. But it's in the reverse. So this is giving me the feeling like it's not the end. The end is not here yet. And then we have Diviner's Lockbox, which is, I see it taunting me whenever I close my eyes. Well, that's just a little caption here. But a lockbox is like secrets, things locked inside. This is giving me a few different feelings. X marks the spot, the treasure. The treasure's in a box. The treasure's in a chest. Not all treasure is silver and gold. The lockbox isn't necessarily material wealth, silver and gold. The lockbox could be like your soul, you, your inner you, the real you. It could also be like your life, the future, the unknown. So this is giving me the feeling, especially together with the Tinkerer and Alchemist, it's like you may have difficulty fixing yourself, transmuting your experiences into growth and evolution and beneficial things, but it's kind of like there's still treasure for you to find. There's still things. This could mean that there are still things inside you that you need to fix, because the lockbox, some things might be locked tight. Some wounds, some revelations might be locked tight that you need to like sift through. Or it could also mean like there's still treasure for you to find, and this isn't the end of the line. Disciple of the old ways on the bottom of the deck. Celestia thinks nature is a pretty plaything. True nature would rip their faces off and wear their skins as trophies. So nature in itself can be beautiful, but can be unrelenting. And I set this quote in a different in a different collective, but I'm going to find it again because I love this quote. Love and Monsters. Lucky Enough quote. It's like a good friend once told me. Good instincts are earned by making mistakes. If you're lucky enough to survive a few mistakes, you're gonna do all right out here. Now, the reason why I say that quote in regards to this card, because Disciple of the Old Ways talks about nature. And what do we know about nature? To survive out in nature, to survive out in the wilderness, in the woods, you need to kind of be a disciple of the old ways. The hunter-gatherer, the survival instinct. And not survival mode, but just training your instinct. Instinct is when you are in touch with yourself, but at the same time, you are in touch with the world around you. You can look at the sky, pay attention to the wind, smell the air, look at the ground, hear the sounds, and you can kind of already know what is going on around you. I think that's why in the beginning of this reading, I talked about how I get my messages and how the world just talks to me. I think that's the reason why I said that, because I'm kind of explaining it right now. When you train your instinct, you learn essentially to be so in tune with the natural world or just with the world around you that you can hear, listen, see, and understand so many things that you wouldn't normally be able to understand, but you have trained this connection between you and the world, between you and universe, you and source, spirit, ancestors, gods, goddesses, whatever. And once you have your instinct trained, it makes it easier, again, to maneuver through life, make certain decisions, avoid certain people, say yes to certain things, say no to certain things, heal yourself, fix yourself, alchemize, find the treasure, find the gold. Again, not all treasure is silver and gold, but you get the point. What time is it? 1:18. Okay. Nice. Disciple of the old ways. So, disciple of the old ways could also mean, for example, Freya, the goddess of witchcraft. It could mean that maybe you need to also strengthen your spiritual practice or your craft. If you have a spiritual practice, a religious practice, or a craft, like strengthen it. And if you don't, then maybe start to involve yourself in one or a few of those different areas. I did pull out this deck too, so just out of fun, let me... The Miser, stubbornness and inflexibility in the reversal. Yeah, just out of fun. Let me shuffle and then I'll pull one card. We have the Archer. It's funny because we also have Marksman right here in the reversal. The Archer is biding your time and planning ahead. With the Smith, on the bottom of the deck in reversal, and the Smith is overthinking and taking action. Remember how I kind of went on a whole little tirade or whole little rant about it's one thing to have the self-awareness and to know like what needs to be healed, to see yourself, to have the hope for healing, but it's another thing to actually take action. So I think this is relating to how to heal and how you should essentially maneuver your life now moving forward, which is biding your time and planning ahead. And another thing with the Archer, I was also just talking about with the disciple of the old ways, like hunter-gatherer, the instinct. This is literally about training your instinct, but also planning ahead, because to survive out in the world, you need to plan ahead. You need to make shelter before nightfall. And if you don't make shelter before nightfall, then you're going to have to do a few things to ensure that you're safe by the time nightfall comes around. And then this overthinking and taking action, you need to stop being in your head and you need to start actually acting on what needs to be done, on the plans. You need to make plans and you need to act on it. But with the Smith and the reversal, you're hesitating. I don't know why you're hesitating. I mean, it's just your life. You have a lot to live for if you can just get out of your own way. And this kind of shifted. So there was a card beneath it, and this card is healing grace. Have grace with yourself during this healing process. Whatever faith you have in Sarah, she has more in you. This does kind of give me the feeling of, oh yeah, and there's spectral prison right beneath that. And isn't there a card that talks about prison? Which one? I forgot which one it is. But give yourself grace during this time of healing. Love yourself. That is essentially how you heal, is to love yourself. And it's not hippie, it's not crazy, it's not whatever. We all need love. We all deserve love. And the first one to continuously give us love should be ourselves. Because if we can give us love, then it is a lot harder for someone else or something else to come into our lives and mess stuff up. Because we love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, it's easy to say, no, that's not for me. No, I don't like that. No, I do not want to act like that. I wish you well on your healing journey. And if this is about someone that you're connected to, then I wish them well on their healing journey. The only ones that can heal ourselves is ourselves. But again, all the energies around us, they're rooting for us. And they're doing their best to do what they can, where they can, but only we can heal ourselves. If you would like a private one-on-one reading with me, you can go to any of my social media links in the description or my Linktree Tempest Trade. Until next time, bye.